told you that.
This Saturday, talkSPORT brings you exclusive super lightweight boxing as Adam Azim defends his unbeaten record in a domestic bust-up with London rival Ohara Davies. It's live from the Cobble Box. Coverage on the night starts over on talkSPORT 2. That one is at 7:30 before, of course, switching over to us here on talkSPORT at 9 p.m. for the main event. And we can speak to talkSPORT's fight pundit Spencer Oliver, who comes live from the press conference at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham alongside Boxer CEO Ben Shalom. Boys, good afternoon to you.
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
We are good. We're very well. Tell us exactly where you are, what the mood is like. Is there any aggro there ahead of this fight on Saturday night live on talkSPORT?
Well, we're just at the press conference now, actually. We've just come upstairs. We're at Twickenham Stadium. So Ohara Davies is in the building. Adam Azim is in the building. And, everything's nice and calm at the moment. But I will say that, boys, at the moment.
Well, do you know what? Last time we had them both in the studio, and Ben was here as well, I expected a little bit more needle, and it was a little bit friendly. I mean, has it changed much since they've been in the studio?
Look, there's definitely tension between the camps, less so between the fighters. They were both at the Peacock Gym many years ago. Adam Azim was about 9 years old, and I think Ohara Davies had started his professional career. So to think that they would ever meet probably was an impossibility for both of them. But look, it's a huge fight. It's a huge fight for both their careers. I mean, sometimes I have to think back to when I was 22 years old. Adam Azim headlining on Sky Sports, headlining these big arenas, but taking on an extremely experienced fighter in Ohara Davies. You know, only defeats coming to Jack Cattrall and Josh Taylor before his last fight for the interim world title, where he got caught in the first round. But anyone can get caught in the first round, and it's a huge fight. It's a marking time fight. It's a crossroads fight, and Adam Azim's going to have to put on a statement on Saturday night to announce himself on the world scene. It really is a tough test. Both fighters need to win. Both fighters are coming in ready. Both fighters are extremely motivated, and for different reasons, they have to win on Saturday night.
Let me stay with you, Ben, if I may. I want to get your views on the latest with Anthony Yarde. I know he's fighting on the card. What's the deal there? Is he with you or is he with Frank?
Look, when we made this offer, Josh Buatsi still hadn't fought yet. He had to fight Willie Hutchinson for the interim WBO title on the September 21st Anthony Joshua card. And so we couldn't take anything for granted. We had to see whether he came through. Then Bivol Beterbiev on the weekend. That was the number one target. But as we expected, it was an extremely close fight. We expect a rematch to happen, which leaves one man in our eyes. The biggest fight in the light heavyweight division outside of Bivol Beterbiev. The biggest fight in British boxing at the moment, particularly in that division. Buatsi against Yarde, but Anthony Yarde has to come through on Saturday night. He has to look good. We expect him to, and then it sets up an absolutely huge fight between Buatsi and Yarde, who have been synonymous with each other throughout the whole career, always compared, always debates as to who's better, always thought that they would meet. But I'm glad that it looks odds on now that they are going to meet, but also they're going to meet in their prime. So often we get these big fights that we hope to get, whether it's the Khan Brooks or even the Eubank Bens, but we want to see fighters in their prime at the top of the game, and these two are definitely there right now, and so hopefully we can see that fight very soon.
So is he with your stable or Frank's?
Well, right now he is a free agent,
Okay.
but we know that he wants Joshua Buatsi. Joshua Buatsi really is the A-side going into this fight. He comes in with a title. He comes in having cleaned up the domestic division, and we know Anthony Yarde is hunting this fight. I don't believe he'd have taken this fight without getting in the ring, without getting his activity. He's been out nearly a year, and so we had to make sure that we provided him a fight to set this fight up for Josh Buatsi if we couldn't get Bivol or Beterbiev next, which now it looks like we can't.
Ben, I just want to ask you a question, actually. Can you clear this up as well about Joshua Buatsi? And there's been rumours circulating that maybe he's leaving and going to Queensbury. He's leaving Boxer. Can you clear this up? What is the situation with Buatsi right now?
He cleared it up. I think he posted this morning. Josh Buatsi is a Boxer fighter. He'll be there on Saturday night watching with interest, and as these days, anything you see on Twitter isn't always the truth.
Spence, I want to ask you a question about Adam Azim. Obviously, it's a huge fight, as you said there this weekend. And a lot have tipped him as one of the hottest prospects in boxing. How high did you rate him?
Yeah, I rate him really, really well, actually. 11 fights. 11 wins, 8 of those by KO. He won the European title in the quickest. I held that title actually for 26 years. I won it 11 fights. He went and broke that record, and what a fighter to give it to, actually. Hand over the baton. He won it in 10 fights. Tells you, how difficult it is at that level to win a world title so soon. The kid has immense talent. He's only 22 years of age. He's still growing all the time, maturing all the time, and improving all the time. This is a big test for him against Ohara Davies. A lot of people going off that Barroso loss last time out for the interim world title, where he got caught in the first round, and Barroso's a phenomenal puncher as well, and he didn't let him off the hook. But before that, you look at Ohara Davies, the opponents that he's beaten, and you look at that and you go, this is a serious fight for him. So a coming-of-age fight, I think, for Adam Azim, but one that I believe, if he's as good as what we think he is, he may come through. But do not write off Ohara Davies, because that kid can punch and he can fight as well.
Ben, Ben, let me ask you about Ben Whittaker, because we had Liam Cameron on our show. I think it was on Monday. It was a strange old end to that fight. Both fighters going over the top rope. Yeah. Liam is desperate for this rematch, and I totally get it, because for my money, he was winning when the fight was stopped. What is the latest surrounding a possible rematch, or even the next fight for Ben Whittaker?
Look, I believe we will see that rematch, but first and foremost, he's going to have to go through a rehab process. He was out for 9 months with a neck injury the previous year. So as soon as I seen him go over the ropes with a 13-stone man on top of him, I knew we might have a problem. He caught his ankle as well on the stairs. And look, it was a bad night. It was a bad night for Ben. He didn't perform anywhere near. I've never seen a Ben Whittaker perform like that. And I knew from the first round, I know he won the first couple of rounds, I knew from the first round he wasn't right. His energy levels, his timing, he was getting shots that you never get caught with. And no disrespect for Liam Cameron, who I'm very glad for. This is a guy I don't know very well, but I saw what his punishment was, and I saw him out the ring for a long time. I thought it was way over the top. He's come back, he's changed his life, and he's had a massive moment, and credit to him. So I don't want to take anything away from Liam, but a Ben Whittaker in the right mindset, with the right camp, going in there, should be absolutely dealing with that, absolutely no problem. So I think huge changes for Ben, and I feel for him in a way. He's become one of the most recognisable sports people in our country overnight. But you've got to make sure, you might be getting the brand deals and you might be the most popular fighter in the country, but you've got to make sure that we're doing what's right in the ring. And I believe this is going to be the making of him. I really do. And I've had some time to reflect, and sometimes, all of us in life need those moments where we think we're on top of the world, we think we're invincible, we think we're untouchable, and it's those moments in life that really make you. And so, yeah, he's in a bad way. He's a perfectionist. He's someone that will have really taken its toll on, but I know that he'll deal with this, and I know that he'll make this the manner.
Just going back to what you said earlier, the rehab. How long will that take?
We don't know yet. He's not going to fight this year. The plan was he was going to fight in December. The venue, everything was already done, so there's definitely no way he'll be available then. Hopefully we see him back early in the new year. I don't want this to stretch on too long.
Sure.
But we're still getting assessments. He's now back in the UK, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, before I let you go, a quick word about Frazer Clarke. It was a brutal end to that first round. No one really expected it to happen as quickly as it did, and in an emphatic manner as well. Do you think he should fight again?
I mean, of course he should fight again. If there was brain damage, I have to say, Andy, when that happened, you question everything. You question what you're doing. You question what you're doing in the sport. You question all the pantomime, and obviously I'm involved in all that, and we're trying to break in, and we're trying to build our business, and we're trying to do the best for our fighters. When something like that happens, and you see something like that, so someone that you're close with, and you see the reaction of his family and everything, my heart was in my mouth. I didn't want to think of anything else. I've been looking forward to Bivol Better BF all year, and we were straight to the hospital. Thankfully, he had a scan. Thankfully, it didn't appear anything on the brain. We had to have immediate surgery. I have to thank everyone in Saudi Arabia for looking after him so well. We've got the best surgeon. He's had his surgery. He's back in. Of course, he's got it. That happens in boxing. You can get caught by one punch and it's over.
Sure.
But he's more motivated than ever. He's got to look again at what went wrong and why he was able to be caught like that. But yeah, I'm just so glad that he's okay. You look,
Guy,
Spencer, you've had your issues, so
Guy, listen,
you know what it's like.
I was with him at the airport actually, so I was talking to him about that moment when he said that right hand landed and he felt like there was an explosion in his head, and he rubbed his hand down the side of his face and felt half his face sort of caved in. And Turkey al-Sheikh got the best surgeons for him straight away, sent him to the hospital. He said he can't thank Saudi Arabia the way they dealt with this situation. Got the best surgeons for him, and they actually operated from inside the mouth and pushed the bone back out and wired it in lead, so to allow him to fly home to his family. 4 p.m. he was on the same flight as us. We thought he was going to be there at least 6 to 8 weeks before he could even fly, but he didn't put any plates in. But Fraser was seriously shook up and said he just needs a bit of time to, reflect on things. He realised that, family is important and family is first. He's got young children. He's going to go away, have a long think about what the future lies. But one thing is for sure, they rebuilt that cheekbone up, so that is a great thing for him moving forward. And what a job they've done out there, yeah.
Ben, listen, before I let you go, one fight a lot of people were talking about, they're desperate to see, is you and Frank Warren. What's the latest between you two? Having a little fisticuffs on stage, a little bit of a beef? What was that all about?
Look, he was upset, I think, at me being there, standing between my fighters. Look, we all saw what happened. I was actually thankful because I think I was getting accused of pushing him. Thankfully, it was on camera. But look, I don't take it too seriously. I've had to break into this industry. It's been difficult at times. Obviously, that's what you see front of camera. Imagine what it's like behind the scenes. Yeah. But we continue to build our business, and it was interesting. Not what I expected, but this is boxing, and look, we can take it in our stride, and it shows that we're doing something right.
Have you spoken to him since?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Send a text. Tell him you love him and you miss him.
Guys,
yeah, I will. I'll send him a text.
Okay.
How do you think we put a charity boxing match on? How do you think that would go with Ben Shalom versus Frank Warren? Be quite interesting, that one.
I think it'll be over quite quick, if I'm being honest, but I'd certainly watch it. Listen, boys, thanks for coming on. If people are just...
Don't write Ben off that much, Frank. Come on.
He's got a good right hand on him, Frank. Listen, thanks for coming on. If people are watching on YouTube, it's not the end of Blind Date. You two sat on that couch. It does look a bit weird, but Ben Shalom and Spencer Oliver. Boys, this is Ben Shalom, Spencer Oliver. Thanks so much for coming on. We'll speak to you very soon. And good luck at the weekend. The fight, of course, live on talkSPORT. Adam Azim against Ohara Davies. Boys, for the time being, thanks so much for coming on. There you go. That was a lot of boxing chat there. I enjoyed that. It's good. Fisticuffs on and off stage. That's why we adore boxing.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.